What is the issue with your spiritual journey in combination with psychedelics? The answer is relatively obvious, so let me come right to the point. Nowadays, there are many young people who try out different drugs, and mostly it is just a matter of time until they stumble about psychedelics such as mushrooms or LSD. And why? Because we're young, we want to try out different things. If not psychedelics, then probably any other kind of drugs, fast cars, sexual experiences, everything that might give you something new and a little bit more, or in case of psychedelics, something completely different, a new experience. Potentially, your spiritual journey might begin after such a psychedelic trip, or might be strengthened or accelerated. At least this is how it looks from the stance of the mind. And maybe it even feels as this experience was life-changing, and maybe you want to do it for another time in the future. But let's quickly pause and check what is actually going on. We have young people with no or only little experience, background, or any kind of foundation in terms of spiritual awakening, who are thrown into states of mind, obviously depending on the dose of a drug and on their own experiences, which experience seekers are trying to attain for many years. And this kind of description mostly overlaps with my personal experiences, but nevertheless, I do not want to have missed any of my psychedelic experiences. But yeah, to be honest, there was no prior knowledge about spirituality, no experience, no guidance. There was just this curiosity and this seeking and longing for truth, or however you want to call it. And some of those experiences can be really wonderful, also frightening sometimes, but most of the people have no idea how to integrate it, how to make sense of it. To be honest, many people have no clue of what is going on, to be honest. And that's okay, but this is how it is. Even if it can be really, really nice and interesting. But many people might feel very special or spiritual afterwards, maybe even think they've awakened just because of one single experience. An experience which they couldn't really control, which they didn't do anything for, didn't work towards it, practice for it, follow out any kind of discipline, just popping a pill, taking a tab, or drinking any kind of tea, and yeah, for a few moments, few minutes, or maybe even hours, total clarity and insight or deep understanding. But after a few hours, it's completely gone, and you feel like you can't grasp it. And the only possible way how to get back into these states is, or it seems to be, to do it for another time. But otherwise you can't really get back into those states. That's it. So there's all this energy, curiosity, longing, and seeking for truth, but no guidance, no map, no steps, nothing. And out of my experiences, I can say that only later, when I started meditating, I could make sense of some things, but still not of everything. But I started seeing clear similarities and differences, and also limitations between naturally attaining such states of mind and only through drugs. And of course, psychedelics can be a really powerful tool if used properly, but for sure it is not the final key or solution to one's spiritual journey. And things can also go terribly wrong if people do not know how to handle it, or if it's not done in the right way with a certain sense of responsibility. I really like the description of Adyashanti's teacher, who said that those kind of substances can act as some kind of key which might open up a locked door. It's a really nice metaphor, but the question is, first of all, are you really ready for this knowledge to comprehend it? And secondly, this door is locked for a specific reason. So why are you chasing it? Why are you trying to break this door? Why are you trying to rush this process? Why not waiting for it until it opens naturally, when you are really ready for it, when you deserved it? Both mystical experience can be really beautiful or also eye-opening, and it can show you that probably there's more to life than you initially expected. But let me make this clear, it will not make you more spiritual. And why? Because it is the old story with the ego. Most likely it will try to get hold of these moments, wants to have more gratification, but you cannot hold it, because when you come down and you're sober, there are people whose minds are going crazy, always chattering, there's no clarity. And why? Because pills don't give skills. For instance, in the beginning, I was very convinced that it's only possible to attain such high states of mind due to any kind of substances, or that I thought that it is superior to meditation or any other kind of spiritual practices. Later on, I needed to realize that this was only a premature belief. And I'm sure that there are many people out there who are fascinated by those kind of experiences, but I'm convinced that what they're really looking for is to feel or to be free, to be satisfied, being deeply touched. And the drug itself or psychedelics do not give you this feeling or experience. It is actually yourself, your actual source, that loving awareness which shines from your heart. The substance itself only reduces the number of thoughts or the intensity of it or emotions that cover the source, and then it can shine through more easily, or it will amplify everything that you really see. Okay, it's so beautiful, you can't oversee it. It makes it more easy to notice it, to discover it. What I never really realized in the beginning was that this light is always shining, whether you're sober or not. The question is whether you are able to see it, if you can see it. And this depends on the number of objects which cover this light, for instance, thoughts or emotions. And if you really long for it to find more about yourself, I can tell you it is very helpful if you have a clear and still mind, not only during those mystical experiences, but also in daily life. My name is Till, and this is Till Talk.